So, okay. Nobody looked, and nobody saw anything. So, second plane day versus 6 Airborne,
Wow.
interesting matchup. One side having shitty armor, infantry, one side having good infantry. But one side having Shermans, one side not having Shermans, so right balance. This also was played before the new patch. This is a replay. So Shermans were 60 points still. But I think, secondly, they also got a buff towards infantry, if I remember right, so they don't have that from the new patch. And here we go. Mosquito Pathfinder start on the side of Kama. He really likes that. He really likes that. I've played against him a couple of times before. So let's see how this goes for Mr. Sean here, playing his balanced. Sean obviously always being a top contender in the league. First place in Season 1. Third place in Season 2. Let's see how deep he can go this time. Did the WoW just didn't work? Or did you hear anything, guys? If so, I don't know why it didn't work. Usually it works. And here we go. Spies over here, engaging Tetrarch. The matchup that we all waited for. Yeah, M8s have to be careful over here. And M8's getting slaughtered here by the 6-pounder, actually. Sherman now coming up. But 6-pounder doing a good job of slaughtering M8s after M8s over here. Now with the Sherman engaging though, it might differ. But Sherman is only engaging infantry, it looks like. So push not really working out here for Sean. But obviously Sean is the guy who's going for a long game anyways, usually. Really don't know why he plays balanced with second plane day though. Like, that's the biggest criticism of Sean, that he's really too stuck in his balanced. He wants to make balance work with everything, but that you can just not do on the highest level. And his M8 push got slaughtered, and so does a lot of his forces. His forces a lot. Like, all the M8s over here are dead as well. Only the ones in the south still alive. And even for them, it's not working out too well, as you can see in all the burning wrecks over here. So, yeah, that didn't work out too well. And now he has 50 less income per minute. So let's see if he can set up a defensive perimeter, or if Kama is able to roll over him. Voltageers over here sitting around. Sappers and M8s coming in. I think his balanced play is still fine against the flatline or anything, and with the right division, but I don't think second plane day is the right division, to be really critical of that here. And yeah, I think he should change it up a bit. Sure, it's fun and so on to have him being the balance guy, but it's just, if you play on this level of high level of play, and he's not ahead of anyone anymore, that time is long over. You should really go with something that is fitting the division and fitting the opponent as well, and not just balance all the way every time. Let's see how it works out. He's still up to a 13-11 in A phase, obviously, so if he can hold out here for a long time, it might work out. Though I'm really curious about how much infantry he has in C phase, because you don't have too many slots with second plane day. So playing balanced with it also feels wrong, because you don't have the availability in the late game to really abuse balanced income. Like, this is my biggest criticism of second plane day. Overall, their card availability ain't amazing, and especially in the infantry tab, we run out of stuff usually pretty early. Which is the reason why most people play it Vanguard or Maverick, and not balanced. Tetrarch's over here running away from the Sherman. It's the 13-11 now for Kama, but 13-11 really is absolutely fine for Sean. The question is, does he have the forces to keep Kama's pushes at bay? Pushing in over here now with an M5, using the point that Kama has little infantry AT on his units. More Tetrarchs coming in against M8s. M8s now engaging. Not getting the kill there with the first shot. And against two Tetrarchs, might be a close battle. And M8 goes down, actually. M8 goes down. Spitfire AT rocket coming in. in the north to try to deal with the Sherman. One Tetrarch went down, another Sherman coming in. Typhoon not finding its target just yet. One of the strongest units in 6 Airborne. Overall, the air type of 6 Airborne, absolutely devastating. Absolutely devastating. With the Typhoons and what's their fighter called again? Damn, I just can't get the name right now. The fastest fighter in the game. Ah, God, blinking on the name right now. But Sean keeping it up on the 13-11. He's a madman after all. He's here for a reason in the playoffs. I'm still worried for him, but he's actually proving me wrong here. Like his early push in the north was an absolute devastation for him, not for the enemy. Typhoon getting the kill there. Mosquito coming in as well, and the air superiority is an issue for him. But he has good AA, and he has Spitfires, which are decent fighters as well. So he might be able to fight that back at some point. Not on A phase though. Glider crews coming in, 6-pounders coming in. Sherman holding the line over here against Airborne powers. Yeah, his infantry in a direct fight will just absolutely get demolished. He has to give them fire support, and he lost all his armored support over here. Now has to use the ones from the south. Has a Bofors gun here now as well to help out. But there are 6-pounders. Sherman over here trying to hold the line, gets killed off by the 6-pounder, I guess. So that's bad. That's really bad. Typhoon returning. Canadians will get killed off if they move like this. And Karma lost quite a couple of units up there. Allows Sean to go up back to 13-11. It's a lot of trades on both sides. And Sean must be trading quite okay. Or I guess no, I guess he's trading 1-to-1. But Karma doesn't have much more forces on the ground because he has them in the air. I think that's what's happening here. So Karma has to make his air units work effectively. But he absolutely can do that. One Bofors is now coming in the north as well. So that's 2 Bofors guns on the field. And another Mosquito coming in. Try to deal with the units over here. Bofors not unloaded just yet, but will unload in time, I think. To shoot at the Mosquito, but not in one Bofors without veterancy is not enough to stop a Mosquito from dropping its bombs. So this MG will go down, but it's only a single MG, so it's not too big of a loss. And actually it doesn't even go fully down because the spread is bigger, because the Mosquito got panicked. More infantry for Sean coming in the south, and he's nearly survived A phase. He nearly has survived A phase by now. And in B phase he has 1 gun. So I'm surprised. So Karma has to... Sean has actually more than survived. He's up to 1410 here. So he has to set up his AA net and then just wait. That's Sean's play here, I think. AA net plus some solid infantry and Shermans. And then just wait for the C phase in B phase. And building up more forces. Keeping himself safe from Karma's air. And just grind Karma down. That's all he has to do. But like the question is, does he have enough infantry for the super long run? And loses Sherman over here. That might put him into a bit of danger. Because the Sherman was really important there. Crew panicked over here as well. Yeah, he needs another Sherman in the south. Brings in a lot of infantry. He needs another Sherman in the south. Tempest is coming in. Tempest is the fighter I was talking about. I was like T, but I didn't get the name. Tempest fighters, absolute beasts. Best fighters in the game, by far. Good damage output, and just the speed. And okay agility as well. It's back to a 12-12, so Karma putting on the pressure. But is Sean able to repel him here? He's really low on units over here. Karma should be able to take this flag. This should be a 13-11. Question is, Sean might be able to hold him off in the south, and that should be fine. He needs more Shermans in the south. Sherman in the north I'm not too happy about. And you can see how thin Sean's line is. Like, this is really dangerous play here. If he loses the Sherman over here, that would be also pretty devastating, but he gets the 6-pounder before the Sherman gets killed. Sherman doesn't even get damaged, does it? No, doesn't even get damaged, so that's really good for Sean here. Really, really good for Sean. Loses her mate over here though and gets pushed in over here. Last big income advantage tick for Karma coming in 20 seconds. But from minute 11 onwards, Sean is the guy who gets more income per minute. So that's what we were waiting for here. Karma pressing in though now, up to 13-11. But it's still Sean with a lot of life in his life bar. So he can't lose a bit of ground here and be fine. He only has to be worried about not getting fully wiped out in himself right now. That's why I said a Sherman down here would be lovely. I really don't understand why he brought in the Sherman over here. Another Sherman coming in finally. And that's being the HE Sherman, which now has heat rounds, so it can kill tanks as well. But still is much better against infantry than normal Shermans, which is the main point. Some crumbles coming in. And the 6-pounder is still doing its job, killing off the half-tracks. And the half-tracks really are what allows Sean to stay competitive in the infantry fights, to not lose them super horribly. So if the half-tracks go down, his infantry is just pretty much done for. So yeah, he has to be a bit more careful with them, a bit more resourceful, I think. 2 more crumbles coming in. And I think Sean should now invest everything into the south when he gets the income, or try to overwhelm the north. One of these two. Like, either split the map this way, or try to hold on. And he decides for holding on, bringing in the off-map. Good choice there, I think. 13-11 for Mr. Karma. Tempest and Typhoon AT coming in. And here we go. Typhoon AT coming in over here. Will shoot some rockets into this Sherman. Will get the kill, it gets the kill. And this is really why Sean, yes, losing the Bofors down here was brutal. He still has to be worried of getting totally overwhelmed here in the south, with the air control being in the hands of Karma. And Karma now having also the armor advantage heavily in the south. The infantry advantage you always will have, but you have to keep the armor advantage as Sean, and he doesn't have that right now. 2 more Shermans coming in. But yeah, the force, it takes him quite a couple of minutes to get this balance out, back himself. So he has to be really, really careful and really resourceful with his units now for the next couple of minutes. As Karma is getting closer to 15-9. And I'm worried that Karma might start the steamroll here. Like, Karma's still playing it pretty good. I think other players would have been a bit panicked after being 14-10 back after a couple of minutes as Vanguard against Balanced. I for sure would have thought about it, like why am I not able to break through here? But he just keeps on trading and realized that he was on the income advantage, and after eliminating enough forces he just started steamroll here. And the question is, can he keep it going? If he can keep it going, this game is still going into Karma's favor, even though he gets less income per minute from now on out. And he was actually behind till minute 10. He's now starting to win this game. Though off-map and so on can obviously still turn it around for Mr. Sean here. Karma up to a 14-10. 28 minutes to go. 17-pounder on the board in the north. So yes, the defenses in the north stand. Off-map coming in. Getting the leader killed, getting a lot of units pinned down, but he still has to be careful. He can't really push into the town. It's really just an off-map to grind the enemy and stop him from pushing. And that's something he can afford with his income. As long as he keeps it at a 10-14, Sean is super fine in this one. But the steamroll still tries to get through here. Can the 2 Shermans, the 57 and the Bofors together with one single voltageer? A single voltageer is really what is worrying me right now. Yeah, he needs 2 more minutes of income down here, I think, to really keep the defenses going. Obviously, Sherman have to come around here to help out holding on. Tempest Bomber now dropping its bombs on an already dead unit, so that's as good as it could have gone for Sean there. And Daimler Little John coming in. And it will get slaughtered. As to be expected. Rumble over here dying out as well, but Typhoon AT rocket, that might be a double kill. It's a single kill, but it's pinning down the other Sherman. Ooh, that was devastating. Finally the infantry come in, but Tempest bombers continue bombing, killing off the AT gun. Mosquito Pathfinder now going for the kill onto the Bofors. No, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Okay. The Bofors again under attack. Okay, gets the Mosquito Pathfinder. That's an important kill, but the Sherman is still running and the Crumble is moving forward. Oh boy. It really looked like Sean had it back under control. But now it's really fragile again. He needs the next minute with Sherman reinforcements. His Bofors gun going down. Spitfire. Okay, Spitfire is on the hunt for the Crumble, but I don't think one strafe will be enough to pin it down. No, not even close. Not even close. So the Sherman might go down here. Did it? The Sherman? No, the Sherman's still showing frontal armor, so that might save it here. Off map also helpful to stop the infantry push. 59 for Karma. Obviously puts a bit of a timer on Sean, but it's still okay. He really only has to survive here and get into C phase. Especially with shooting down the Mosquito Pathfinder. Yes, really all he has to do is survive here. All he has to do is not losing all his units. And I think he's doing it. Kinda looks like he's doing it. Crumble over here, a bit annoying. Voltageers maybe shouldn't be moved out there. And Sherman back in action. 57mm in action. I kinda like the position again for Sean. Really on the edge the game though. Still really on the edge. And the air control still is in the hand of Karma, even after losing the 2 Pathfinders. More Shermans coming in. He can't really push in the north as there's 2 AT guns there. So yeah, but it's all about the south anyways. North really doesn't matter. Another Sherman coming in. Typhoon AT coming in over here. For the Sherman up here. Wait, didn't he have 2 Shermans here? No, oh there's the second one, okay, I see. Typhoon AT is going for that one, I think. Yes. And Typhoon AT really effective in its duty. One shot, one kill on medium tanks. And Spitfire going down, so the air control stays in Karma's favor. Sean trying to push back in here. Bringing out more AA. But losing the Spitfire is bad. Losing the Spitfire is real bad. GMC Bofors with 1 star retency should be able to put out some damage, but yeah, losing 2 Bofors guns, one here, one here. Okay, the one in the north is still left, so yeah, he lost 2 Bofors guns already, and the Spitfire. His air defenses are quite a bit weakened there with that. Though I don't think you should put anything else but Spitfires into your attack if you play against 6. So all you have to do is really fight the enemy's bomber planes. Not like you really can't afford bringing out bombers on your own. They will not survive anyways, so... And the Tron brought it back to a 10-14, so he has time. He still has time. And he's starting to grind it down here, and we are close to C phase. That would be a 40-minute game, and in 40-minute games I would absolutely favor Sean here. Because that would mean that Sean would get 600 more income in C phase. So 500 more income overall. More than Karma. And with that, he should, a player of Sean's caliber should be able to finish it out. Because it's not like he's super far behind in traits, if at all, on the board. Grenadier Waltz over here, sitting around. Daimler Little Johns coming around. AB Snipers, sitting in over here. Grenadier Waltz coming in, together with some Crumble 5s. 17 pounder sitting around over here. Char M4A2 sitting on the top of the hill. And guys, it's so good to be back out of the holidays. It was so good to be on holiday, but it's also good to be back. Sherman's dying over here. Wasn't it? Wasn't there a Sherman that just fought the Little Johns? Little John's doing a surprisingly well job. Little John's here again, getting transmission destroyed onto this Sherman. And getting the kill. And with the Typhoon ATs, Karma's keeping taxing on Sean. And he gets another kill onto Sherman, so he keeps the Sherman number low. And that's basically all he has to do. And yes, I'm surprised. Surprised it works out that well. Also surprised to see the Sherman going down after the Typhoon AT was pinned down a bit. Like, if it's unpinned, it obviously always gets a kill on the medium tank. When it's getting a bit stressed and the rockets get a bit more... a bit less accurate, it doesn't do that all the time. Crumble 5 over here. Gets the kill onto the off-map, but the off-map I think already got rid of all its barrages, so it's not too bad, but yeah, low on infantry. And still under pressure is Sean here, as Karma really put on the pressure now with the Little Johns and the trades he got with those. Killing off 3 Shermans like that is something that Sean cannot afford to let happen. And now he gets overrun in the north as well, and it's... After we thought, or I at least thought, he had the situation under control, turns out he doesn't. And it is close to an 18-6, and that would be absolutely devastating. 17-7 is already pretty bad. But obviously he gets now his first minute of good income. But an 18-6 would be super devastating, and it's an 18-6, and I guess Karma is winning this. How the hell is Karma winning this? Like, damn. Never giving himself up here, and keeping the pressure on Sean all the time. And yeah, I guess it's the air tap. I guess 6 airborne air tap is just too good, and Sean surrenders here. And Karma, yeah, in the last couple of minutes, just absolutely stacked the favor against Sean. And got so many kills in the last couple of minutes, if we go for chronology. Yeah, here, like, that was mid-game. And yeah, minute 19, down here, up here. Only 2 units going down for Karma. Killing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Shermans there. Yeah. Boy, what a game number 1. Karma taking down the 3rd place of last season, champion of season 1, in game number 1. Karma really showing off here. And let's get into game number 2 in 3 minutes. We'll set that up. We will be back with that. So here we go again. Also, thanks for the follow, Trista. And here we go again. Win game number 2, Sean versus Karma. And vote is up, guys. Who do you think will win game number 2? Sean with 184th or Karma with 3rd Canadian? Obviously, if you know the result, voting isn't much of a point, but yes. Also surprised to see the 3rd Canadian here. Sean really allowing that is really surprising. Sean against with his balance play against Karma's flatline with 3rd Canadian on Slutsk East. Oh no, it's Slutsk East, right? Yeah, it's Slutsk East. This would be Slutsk, and this over here would be Slutsk West. I'm really surprised here to see Sean allowing Karma that. And we all usually watch from this side, so we keep staying on this side. Sherman DD is coming in over here. The Ram OP already, okay, so Karma really wants this hill. Having his rifle. Also, this is before the patch. So, yes, 3rd Canadian is even stronger than it is now. Though, obviously, it doesn't have the rifle Piats, but Sherman's still cheaper, 6-pounder more availability, and so on. So, yes, I'm really surprised to see Sean allowing that to happen. Really, really surprised. Karma with his flatline here. Let's see how this works out, guys. I'm really interested. 184th, obviously a division that has also a lot of infantry. But ISD 122s are not too effective against Shermans. They're effective against Tigers and so on. And I guess against 65-point Shermans they're okay now. But still not. And your Stewards are shit. Your Valentines are okay-ish against Shermans. But not the biggest fan of Valentines. Obviously also Valentines having 8 HP makes them vulnerable. So yes. Uh, 3 kilos, I think Sean nearly made it work a couple of times, and I think against Flatline it's a fair thing to take. I think balance is absolutely fine to take against Flatline. If you take it first though, you're stupid, because Maverick counters balanced so hard that I would never play balanced as a first pick. And obviously Sean had to first pick it at some point here, in this game that is. So, surprised to see Karma not taking Maverick, but obviously with 3rd Canadian Flatline is just fine. Yeah, I think balance is absolutely okay if as a counter pick against Flatline. I think that's the best matchup, because you're behind an A phase and then you are ahead all the rest of the game in income. And you win out in the long run. If you're solid enough in your defensive play, balance is totally fine still. Against Vanguard you can play it, but I think it's rather rough. And I think I think Sean should mix it up with some flatline or maybe even some Maverick play or so sometimes to be not as easy to predict. And the scout snipers with rifles already bullying Sean down here. Strelky DPs getting really heavily bullied here. And rifles moving in. Oh boy. Karma going up to 11-13, having his off map coming in here as well. Strelky DPs, snipers. Obviously still the good Strelky DPs. Also the 184th before pre-nerf. Strelky DPs with SVTs. And okay, good bomb run there for Karma, and he's doing something you usually don't see on this map. Taking this side of the map. Usually this side of the map is a big stalemate. If any side comes in for a push, it's usually this side, trying to take this forest. But you usually never see it the other way around, and it looks like Sean didn't expect it at all either. Investing much more units into the north than Karma, but Karma has this off map here to kind of stop that, killing the unit in transport over here. And yeah, it doesn't look like Sean's push over here is working out too well for him. Losing his leader here. Damn, this is some sloppy play out of Sean. This is some sloppy ass play out of Sean, guys. And it looks like it goes off the rails real fast here. And that if he loses this, he's out. He's not even in the best of four this time. He's not playing for 3rd place or anything. He's just out. He's 5th/6th place then. something you wouldn't expect out of Sean. But obviously his group phase was already not too bad, too great. That's why he's not in the semifinals directly, not winning his group. That place going to Pixie. Actually, was 3rd place in his group, behind US Prester John. So no, not behind US Prester John. Behind Ember T. Behind Ember T. US Prester John being in the other group. And Karma's up to 17-7, guys, and this doesn't look good for Sean at all. Let's see if he has any chances. Obviously, he's a guy who did make magical comebacks work in other series, but he has to be careful here. Oh no! Oh guys, I don't think this is one of these though. Rifle leader getting the kill onto the ice with this Piat. Piat's actually getting kills, guys. Piat's actually getting kills. Ah, what a world we live in. L2KI now coming in, but damn guys, this is looking absolutely devastating for Sean. Losing both BA-10s down here. And against 3rd Canadian, you cannot grind this back. You cannot really grind this back. Oof. And Trista, before the DLC, before the Romanian DLC, Access was just too bad. With the new patch, Access might be viable. The reason why we didn't buff it up to 5 bans is that we think that would make Access, would give you too many bans against Access. That's why we stick with the 4 bans. As also none of the new divisions for the Soviets are really that good that you need to ban it. Like there's no, not like there's too many OP divisions for the more OP divisions for the Soviets. So that's why we stuck with the bans to hopefully see a bit more Access play in the playoffs. Yeah. And here we go. Sean absolutely getting clapped in game number 2. Damn, that was pretty anticlimactic here. Oof. Karma clapping Sean 2-0. Sean going 5th place. Which gives him how much winnings at the moment? That would be $27 instead of at least $55 safe for Karma by now. With chances of obviously even quite a bit more. Oof. Rough. Really, really rough. Also guys, if you want to contribute to this, you can contribute to this for free. Let's go !matcherino in the chat. You can go here, use the code PLAYOFFTIME to add 50 cents to the prize pool for free. Would be absolutely lovely guys if you would be able to. Oh, I muted myself. Up. Matcherino there, guys. Yeah. Would be lovely if you can contribute with the code PLAYOFFTIME to get it going. And at Trista, what divisions are usually banned? 17th SS, Hermann Göring, and then it gets hard. Then it depends on the map. Like Ski Jägers on CQC maps. Like 20th Panzer on open maps, or 21st Panzer at sometimes. Like bands like Hermann Göring and 17th SS, I think are the, and now 5th Cavalry, I think are the 3 bands that are safe on every map, and then the last ban should be open for depending on the map. Storm not anymore. No, Storm is over. And at Craig Fox, the reason why we did that was to not, like, why we keep the prize pool for the other divisions low, was to not make it so that people, like, stay in the lower divisions to abuse the prize pool or anything. But we will up it for next season. We will think about it for next season at Craig Fox, but for now we stick with that. Also, if you get to the 750 thing, those will be upped above the lottery winnings. 5th Cavalry, their camp kicks. Hermann Göring, and 17th SS. Hey, the Bowen, how you doing? So, yes, we'll now load up the next. I think actually, yeah, 1st Blindata and 20th Panzer are the 2 tank divisions that get banned on maps that are good for tank divisions now. And then there is the Jaegers, Ski Jaegers or 28 Jaegers that get banned on like CQC maps. And I don't know what else could be banned. 21st Panzer maybe, sometimes. Or one of the Finnish. One of the 2 Finnish divisions might also get banned. Like, most of the time Panzer Divisiona gets banned. Sometimes, like, if one of those 2. Gets banned at all. Okay. So here we go. Kama versus Solo Wing Pixie. Soviet on Soviet action this time, with 3rd Guards Mechanized Tank Corps versus 44th Guards Tolkovi, Vanguard versus Maverick, and damn, are we in for a good one. Pixie versus Kama, Russian on Russian action also in the players. 2 of the top dogs, and Pixie dominated his group. Pixie really good in shape at the moment, but so is Kama, so I hope we're in for a treat. I hope we're really in for a treat. And I think if he... let me have a look, but I think Kama did beat Pixie in the group phase, didn't he? Oh no, or was Kama... No, Kama was in the other group. Kama was in the other group, wasn't he? No, yeah, it was Ember T. And Seandro did beat Pixie, that's the way around. And Kama was in the group with Gonzo and so on. Right. Sorry guys, yeah, didn't thought about too much about the league when I was in holidays, so have to put myself back into the mindset of everything, remember everything. So here we go. Sniperies coming up, SG-43s, Ognoma Chickies. Obviously, I would favor 3rd Guards Mechanized above 44th. Also, this game also played before the DLC came out, so no changes there. No, Sherman's still 60 points in this version, and so on. And yes, the other playoffs happening the other half of the playoffs, hopefully also with the semifinal happening this weekend with Ember T versus US Precision, and then the winner against the Mr. Spanish super player in the form of Gonzo, winner of last season. Well, yes, but the advantage that Pixie overall get, well, yeah. It's always... Maverick versus Vanguard is always a bit weird, but Pixie has a better division and he can afford IS-2 per minute in speed phase. That's, I think, why he plays Maverick here, with the IS-2 divisions. Flatline would have worked here well here as well, but Pixie is a guy who doesn't shy away from bringing Maverick from time to time. Let's see if he can make it work on the side in blue here. Bringing in some Shermans, and Sherman's winning out against T-34s most times. So, yes, that's also going for him. And let's see how this all goes. Yes, Division 1 semifinals. It's that time of the year. Hopefully we will get one more season into this year. Like that's the goal. Doing 3 seasons per year would be absolutely lovely. Well, depends on how long the playoffs take though to do, and then we could start one in October with playoffs around December, maybe January. And yes, so that would be a cycle that I would love to go with for the rest. Well, like for Steel Division 2 for the next year as well. Always like 3 months for a season, then 1 month downtime, and then again 3 months for a season, 1 month downtime. I thought it would start around now. Their Kampfkriegs already did fast forward, but I don't know exactly at what point it starts. So yes, I didn't want it to spoil, and I wanted still to talk a bit about the deployment and stuff. I thought it would give me like 2 or 3 minutes. Didn't expect them to take forever. Wait, let me double check that I didn't kept the game on pause. No, I didn't keep the game on pause. They just really take their time here to set up. So yes, usually they don't take that long. That's why we are having this downtime, but I'm fine. Better than casting live, where you have to set up time first and then have to sit through all the deployment, which is usually like at least 15 minutes or something, plus the downtime between the games. But yes. Guardias on this side, Tanko de Sanikis, Ognamachikis, all the lovely stuff. All the lovely stuff over here for Karma as well. Really wanting to push in. Really few tanks for him. Only one T-34 over here, and I think one more in here. No, not even a single T-34 in the south anymore. I think he had one deployed there earlier. So both really taking the time here, setting this whole thing up. We are over the 10-minute mark by now, I think. Yeah. That's surprisingly long for Division 1, but here we go. You only have to point it out often enough and they will start the game. This classic sniper start that we saw against Sean, coming out here again once more for Kama. Really seems to love his snipers. Bringing them out into the open over here. So I guess you should ban 5th Cavalry against Kama as well, if you don't want to get sniper spammed when he plays Axis. PTRS and SG-43s coming in. Machikis as well. Some MSHAs coming in over here. Machikis. Machikis smoking off. So this push is supposed to go deep. No, it's not, actually. Okay, surprised. Expected him to go deeper than he does. So I guess he only wanted to protect himself against AT Grandstand. T-34 over here. Keep on firing. PTRs of Soloing Pixie a bit out in the open, not doing too much here. PTRs in the north gets the kill though. And this salient should be gone in a second again. Bringing Soloing Pixie to the 13-11. As he got the flag over here for a second, but now it's back to 12-12. And here we go. 12-12 start. Ognamachikis taking the Molotovs out of the Tanko de Sanikis with their transport. And now they should be able to absolutely demolish the Tanko de Sanikis. Good move there. Though I don't know if it was on purpose by Pixie. But baiting the Molotov out with the armored transport for sure is a good strategy if you ever have to the chance to micro that, guys. You should consider that. Guardias coming in over here. Wall Pixie bringing a lot of stuff in the armored transport. Obviously a bit slower, as it's 15 kilometers slower than normal transport at 80, but safe against normal low caliber fire, and also capable of surviving a shot of a PTR D or PTRS. So overall gives your units a bit more chances of surviving, though you give up a bit of territory. But not like Pixie doesn't lacks in territory. He's up to 1410 actually. And the air war is starting, guys. The air war is starting, and who will get the first blood here? Yak 1B is obviously in a disadvantage as they have bombs, but gets the crit in here. That's really lucky there for Kama. Yak 7B of Pixie following. Kama usually, I guess he worked on his air micro, but usually he was not too strong in the air micro department, as we saw also in the earlier game where he lost his Mosquito Pathfinder against the Spitfire super unnecessarily. But overall he improved quite a bit in air fights. We saw that in the last couple of games in the playoffs. In the group phase as well. And he might get a kill here on the Yak 1Bs. 2 lucky crits overall by him. Taking out the planes of Soloing Pixie for quite a while. And this turn was super unlucky for Pixie. Losing his first plane here. Karma a bit blessed by the RNG gods here. But on the same time it goes down to a 16-8 here on the ground for him. And Pixie has to be careful. And Pixie not really microing his air. I guess he's focused on the ground right now. That might mean he might lose the Yak 7B as well. And then he would give full air control to Karma. Don't think you want to have that happen. Yeah, run over the map, outrun the Yak 1Bs, and then try to disengage. Maybe bait them over your 37mm. Guess that's the plan right now. Where's this unloading? Unloads a bit too deep. He should unload it now. Move it forward manually. Come on, Pixie. Now he turns around. I don't know if that's a good maneuver. And gets shot here again. And gets killed. Oh no, Pixie. Why not unloading the 37mm and baiting them? Okay. Bit of a misplay there by Pixie. But he's up to a 59 on the ground. So going all well there. With third OP. 37mm out here. Did he? Okay, he improved then. Because I remembered his first couple of games in the playoffs, in the group phase, his air micro was not great. His air micro was really not great. And Pixie's air micro is also always a bit sloppy. So, but yeah, he improved a lot. Karma improved a lot in his airplay. Not quite Gonzo style though. Like, I think Gonzo still has the best air control out there. Next to maybe a Taiga. Taiga also really good in his air control usually. But Gonzo still being the best, I think. Eugen also can have really good one. He had really good one in Normandy for sure. I think he still has a really good one here. Just 3-gun over here and getting the SG-43. M30 over here, engaging. Sis 3-gun, engaging as well. Ooh, and there Kampfcakes, thanks for following. Amcha engaging over here onto the M30. More Amchas coming in. Sherman down here, holding back down the Guardias. Look, I'm already being pinned down as well. But one Chikis engaging the Guardias over here. And more Amchas rolling in. Soloing Pixie up to 13-11. And another 37mm coming up for him. But he lost a couple of ground. He lost the middle here. And it's a really big back and forth. Having the Guardians back here, but that doesn't really help you anymore. Only thing he really can do is maybe baiting, like moving them up here, hoping that Karma forgets about them and moves a T-34 next to them or so, getting them AT grenaded. I think that's the best call for with these Guardias. Amcha over here, helping out though. And Amcha is really still super good. And obviously in this patch they are playing on is still 60 points, so it's amazing. Absolutely amazing unit. Best tank in the game for sure at this point. And still with 65 points I still think they are. But obviously a bit less so. Was a really important nerf. I think it's fine. I think it's fine to have the Shermans being the best tank in the game. But they were absolutely like the next level above everything with 60 points. Guardias and Automatikis chilling out over here. More Yak 1Bs coming in. And yes, now the air control will make Pixie suffer a bit, that he gave up the air control that easily. Losing against fighter bombers with fighters is something that should not happen. Obviously RNG working against him there, but also little micro, only attack orders, and attack orders are not the most efficient way of taking fights. Really, you should micro them in the curves and then get behind them and fight them. As someone who played a lot of War Thunder, I think I'm pretty decent in it. especially as I always was the dogfighter, making me getting used to weird. I like how those planes maneuver. Playing a lot of Spitfires and Zeros. Zero, my absolute favorite plane in War Thunder. Most played game plane for sure as well. A6M3 and A6M2. Karma 1311. Yamcha over here engaging the T-34-85. Trista, MG play is okay if you have the right MG. A lot of people do it, especially in divisions. Like, MG play is something we see quite a bit more, yes. Just as a supportive infantry card. And if you have a lot of CQC infantry, like Karma had in A-phase with Tenko Sanikis and Automachikis, then these can help out to anchor the field for you. Karma coming in with a 1311. IS-2 coming in as well. Yamcha moving forward. And more Yamchas coming in. Yak 1B coming in over here. And 37mm engaging, but not getting any kills on this range. He has a leader this time next to his AA, something that Sean didn't have. But Karma is up to 13-11 now, guys. Karma is up to a 13-11. Sis 3 gun over here under fire from the Sherman. Sis 3. But he has 85s, and there's little for soloing Pixie at the moment to deal with that. Obviously the IS-2 in the north, but no IS-2s in the south. Though as soon as there's IS-2, the 85s become relatively redundant. So that's a balance Karma has to take. Not investing too heavily into 85s, but using them at right spot. And now the IS-2 for soloing Pixie hits the field, and he's close to getting his first 180 points income. And it's now the time where soloing Pixie should start to think about how to overwhelm Karma here, because obviously in the long run he has the lesser income here, and most likely also the lesser overall overall availability in his deck. As Maverick, you usually don't take any or only one infantry card in C-phase. Like, I usually don't take any. I'm like forcing myself to end the game in 25 minutes, 27 minutes. Or I'm just GGing out, but obviously in competitive play you might want to have the safety net of one infantry card in C-phase. Yamcha over here, engaging onto the T-34-85. Not an engagement you want to take, actually. Absolutely not an engagement you want to take. And yes, Yamcha going down here. But another Yamcha here trying to be sneaky. And against 43s, they absolutely win out in the rate of fire. But it gets killed as well. Bit of a throwaway of Shermans. You really, most of the time, don't want to have Shermans fighting tanks. You want to have them fight light vehicles and infantry. That's where they excel in. And then when it comes to tank warfare, you just try to hide. And when they come at you and get too close, you pop around the corner. But you don't want to have them fight at long-range engagements, because they don't have the penetration power. But they have their aim time and the rate of fire, that if it gets to a CQC scenario, they most of the time win. But against other medium tanks, you usually, against like heavier tanks, you for sure don't want to have them in long range. And usually, like even against Panzer forces, so you rather just let them get a bit closer to you and then pop around the corner with the aim time bonus and get the first shot and win it that way. Because first shot advantage is big in on tank action. Sherman over here engaging the M42. And yes. Have some engagements over here, big explosions. Infantry's in the buildings, sitting around. T-34-85, moving into the forward slope to eliminate that pesky Yamcha. That's a skin on the T-34-85, right? One of the skins that you get through pre-order or something, isn't it? It's for sure a beautiful skin. Emcha over here in the open. Gets the first shot in, nearly dead. Tries to disengage, but I don't think it will get out of line of sight in time. Oh, it does actually, it does. Cast a curse there. Me being wrong, as always. IS-2 coming in over here, onto the hill. IS-2 over here chilling. And Solar Pixie is not really getting the trades he needs to put the pressure on here. Though he has 3 IS-2s now, but he lost all his Shermans. Only 1 Sherman in the north remaining, of 1 Sherman in the south. Okay, M42 didn't get the kill there, at least. But really, getting his numbers of Shermans cut down quite a bit, which makes it pushing quite a bit harder. So what does Pixie do here? How does he play this? Off-map coming in on him? That's not beautiful. Karma really doing a good job here. OB25 engaging IS-2 is not the engagement you want to take with OBs. Rather doing it with M30. But even then, on this range, you don't want to do it. You gotta let it get a bit closer, then you can do it with the heat shells of the M30. That can be absolutely deadly. T-34-85 on the hill, chilling out. .85mm moving forward. OB25 also moving forward. The thing about APCR is that it also has often less penetration on max range, because its penetration falls off harder over range than normal AP shells. So APCR shells usually you use on like 1000 meter engagements when you usually don't have the means of penetrating the other tank. Tank, like if only your APCR, usually you turn it off and you only use it when your normal AP shell is useless against the target, and then you turn on the APCR if the APCR is useful. If it's too big of an penetration, then you don't use them as well. Anyways. But there's only really a few targets where you want to use the APCR. Like a few vehicles that have APCR where you really want to use the APCR in more than really big extreme cases. One being the M42, because that 100 is the difference between 100 penetration and 75 penetration is big. Then the Panther G against IS-2s and stuff. And that's the only reason why you put Panther Gs anyways in here to your deck, because of the extra penetration with the APCR shell. And then one unit I forgot. What was the other unit I wanted to talk about with APCR shells? But well, we'll maybe get to it. Yeah, but Cis-3s, for example, is also. But you usually turn them off. But Cis-3s actually, most of the time, the AP shells is just fine. It's only against Panthers and Tigers you want to use the APCR shell sometimes. But even then, on long range, the APCR shell doesn't really deal the damage either. And as the damage of APCR shells on penetration is half of the normal damage, you have to penetrate more often. So yes, you have to take that into account. If like the penetration chance of the APCR is only double the penetration chance of the AP shell, you might as well just shoot the AP shell. But if the one is 0 and the other one is like 10, then use the APCR, or 15 or 20%, then use the APCR shell. I think with the Saniki's chilling out over here. God, yeah. Well, on the other side, heat shells, always amazing. Which is why I don't understand that units that have the heat shell usually shoot AP shells, and before APCR, like they should turn that around. They should put APCR under AP and heat shell over AP, and I think they have like a list how it works. Like they always like at the tank on check. Oh, do I have APCR? Okay, I fire that. If no, do I have AP? Okay, I fire that. If no, do I have heat? Okay, I fire that. If no, I fire heat, HE. Like I think that's the list they go through, and I think they just should change the position of heat now above and of APCR lower. Like often heat shells have less range than AP shells. So obviously, yeah, maybe that, like, I don't know. But heat shells, you always want to fire, actually. because they're always better than your AP shell in penetration, and they don't fall off over range. So yeah, really no real point of not firing them. I guess sometimes they have less accuracy, but at that point you could turn it off if you want to have the extra accuracy. But you'd much rather have that being your main shell fire than APCR, which is really situational. But the heat shell is really situational where you not want to fire it. 37mm killing off the Yak 1B. Karma getting a bit greedy here. Second one should also go down, I think. Oh no, angle of fire is not good there on the 37mm for Pixie. Let's return to the game, guys. Was a bit rambling there. Karma getting his Tanko Desanikis pinned down over here. Amcha's moving in. IS-2's coming down to the south as well. Amcha moving around the corner. Moving around the corner. Should be able to pin down the Tanko Desanikis. 8-2 Molotovs, but that shouldn't be too that bad for it. Okay, if it eats one more... No, even one more Molotov. 2 more Molotovs maybe. One more Molotov shouldn't do the job either. And Pixie still not being able to push with his Maverick. So yeah, looks good for Karma here. Making 44th work. After 44th being the worst division in Season 2, 44th really had a comeback in Season 3. I'm really surprised how much better they did, even though there were not really any big changes to them. Like, I'm super surprised. Like, I'm still always thinking about what changed. But I think it's just people using it better. And maybe getting better matchups due to the bans and picks, a big pick phase. Like, I think that's what changed as well. But overall, 44th, just, yeah. Getting such a better win rate this season. It's crazy. Like, it for sure has a positive win rate this season. Might have actually one of the best win rates out there after having one of the worst last season without really any major changes. L2 is getting the kill here. While third OP has not the biggest of win rates this season. And it doesn't look like this game will go for it either. As obviously it usually only gets not banned on maps where it's okay. No, there the enemy is fine with playing against it. And they got nerfed a bit. And other divisions took its place, like 3rd Canadian. And if you fight them against, like, we saw that matchup quite often, and it always came, the 3rd Canadian always came on top. I think against 3rd Guards Tank Corps. I think we saw that matchup 3 times. 3 times going in favor of 3rd Canadian. Maybe we saw it 4 times with 1 time going for 3rd Guards. Trying to think of one of the games where 3rd Canadian actually lost this season. I think one of them was against 3rd Guards, where the 3rd Canadian player ran out of AT capabilities and then just got rolled over by IS-2s. But usually, 3rd Guards Tank Corps didn't do too well this season. Come up to a 13-11, and now he gets better income again. Kills up the IL-2 over here, or is on the way to do so. Killed off an IS-2 over here. One more IS-2 coming in over here, but the IS-2 number is real low. For Pixie, only 2 on the board right now, losing the 2 in the north, not getting back onto the ridge, not really having any push going for him. Got the DP over here with DPs firing. The good Vesaniki's not unloading just yet. Another good off map here from Karma. Off map coming in, Tanko Vesaniki's in danger. IS-2 shooting onto the Tanko Desanikis, Sherman going down again. And he has really misusage of the Shermans, I think, is the biggest point of why Solar Pixie is losing this game. Misusage of Shermans. I think you should use the Shermans as anti-infantry and your anti-tank guns for dealing with tanks together with IS-2s. And really should just keep them in the town, keep them away from any engagement against Q-3485s. And yes, he lost them time and again against Q-3485s. Keeping him away from being able to push here. Maybe he can still somehow put the pressure on here, but I think the board is somewhat even. Air control is on the side of Karma, and he has the better income, and he's up to a 13-11, and he still has a lot of points in his inventory. I don't see how Pixie can come back from this. Thank goodness Aniki is coming in over here. The M2424, I think it got nerfed a lot. And now with the Sherman nerf, it also got hit again. Like, all of these nerfs, I think, did a lot to nerf this division. And especially with the infantry meta also coming up more and more last season. And like, all of this didn't play in favor of Third Guards Mechanized. Plus people figuring out how to deal with Ice 2s better. But, yes, overall just... like, the nerfs to them did quite a lot. You have to do so much more thinking when building this deck. You cannot just build it deep anymore and to be just fine. You really have to make choices now. Which I think was also a big thing why, together with the cheap infantry meta, why 78 is quite a lot weaker now. Because it's not a Swiss Army knife anymore. Like, you have all the tools of a Swiss Army knife, but you cannot bring all the Swiss Army knife things into your deck. And same thing happened to Third Guards Mechanized. Third Guards Tank Corps. And that's why I advocated for same changes to Canadians, because Canadians also have the opportunity to go for all the different... have all the units that are Swiss Army knife, and still can afford them. Like, both card-wise and income-wise. So now we nerfed them income-wise a bit and card-wise also a bit. But I think like card slot increase would have been a good change. Sadly, there was none of that. That's something I advocated for in the strike team. But I didn't fully pen it out because I didn't really have the full time of doing it. And so we... and yeah, it's still a hot topic. And we have to see how Canadians and so on fare after this patch. And I think the first thing to do for Eugen now is doing the reworks, and then let's see how the balance is after that. I think we shouldn't go on to... like, I think the balance patch changes now put everything that was OP a bit lower. They are still strong for sure. Also the balance between Axis and allies with the new DLC is a bit closer, so I think we are in a fair state of balance right now for Axis versus allies and between the divisions. And now we should focus on doing the reworks and make the game more fun overall. So yes, like, and also because of the reworks, because the reworks will switch the balance around anyways. Talking about minor changes to single units at the moment is not that big of a point anyways. So yes, if we do any testing, we can now do it with mods, but like vanilla changes from vanilla shouldn't be worked on. Like, rather try some stuff, interesting stuff out to maybe help Eugen with the reworks in like mods and stuff. But like overall, like small 5-point balance changes, not that important of a topic right now, I think. Because I don't think anything is majorly broken anymore, with Third Canadian still being strong. But I'm fine with them being strong, I just don't want them to be the thing that wins every time, no matter what. I don't know if that... and I think the patch did a bit of taking them out there, I don't know if it was enough, but we will see. Yeah, 3 kilos, they are. Like, reworks, plus, I think, like, that's why they do the Nemesis stuff, with only, like, 2 divisions, no Army General and so on. Because they want to have the time to focus on the reworks. And they're already in the working. Like, they're already working on that. And then, obviously, at the moment, they don't do too much, because they're still at summer holidays. But from September onwards, I think there will be a lot of stuff coming out from them. Like, a lot of, it's summer holidays, so a lot, like, Eugen is only half the crew at the moment. But I think a lot of people coming now back from holidays and stuff is getting more numerous again. And yeah, after the summer haul, we will get a lot of interesting stuff coming, I think. And the summer haul being Romanian divisions, I think, was not too bad either. Yeah, the Nemesis thing is really good, and they like maybe hopefully they also do a Nemesis pack, like a season pass for the Nemesis. That would be really cool. But for that, they first have to think about how many of those they want to do and stuff before they can sell that, obviously. So I think that's the reason why they haven't done anything like that just yet, because they don't really fully have figured out what they actually want to do with it, anyways. But yes, like I would absolutely buy that as well. And yeah, for sure, the season pass was. I mean, they gave us more with the season pass than promised. They gave us one more Army General campaign and 4 more divisions than promised with the season pass. So that's great. And Karma is still grinding here, guys, and I'm still really hard struggling and concentrating onto this game because there's so much to talk about at the moment about Steel Division, and I'm so hyped for everything, and I'm back from holidays, and I'm so happy. And guys. Karma putting on the pressure, keeping it up here. Hey, I think he's winning. I'm pretty sure he's winning. He took out the IS-2s. The IS-2 in the south also falling. I think that was the big blow that absolutely finished off Mr. Pixie here. Only having one IS-2, being so far behind in income, not really being able to afford the combined arms anymore. Getting his AA pounded now, having so little infantry on the board, and yeah. This is going down. I think, yeah, the rework is really important. And then the second really big thing, like the big thing that came with this patch was obviously moddable DLC content, which will allow us a lot more mods that we will get. Like Panzer Valari is working on his divisions of the West stuff, because now all the Western stuff is moddable, and so on. Like his Normandy, taking like Normandy stuff and so on. And I know a couple of other guys who also work on stuff. It allows us to do a community balance patch to maybe help out Eugen with like testing new ideas faster in the community balance patch. That is like because Strike Team is obviously only that big, can only test that much. Eugen has to do it for them, create it for them. With the community balance patch, we could like, first of all, take bigger gambles. Like if the community balance patch is not balanced, normal vanilla player will not suffer under it. Like you can test out more with air balance, for example, and so on. If Eugen does it and they mess it up, we have Fate of Finland kind of stuff happening. If it happens in the community balance patch, well, shit happens. Also, people, like, you can react fast, you can, and so on. And Eugen can do if they have to do the whole game. And we can give them better feedback with that for vanilla. Like, I wouldn't do it like the community balance patch for Normandy, where it was like prolonging the game, changing the balance so that it is interesting again for the last season of League there and stuff. But more like making community balance patch somewhere, someplace for testing new ideas that we then could pitch to Eugen. And that they could look at and be like, okay, yeah, that works out. Let's implement that into the vanilla. Yak 1B coming in without having the risk of implementing it first, or having to put major resources into it. IS-2s engaging over here, having to disengage. Guardias in the south, 1410. And map editor is the next big thing. Like, that's why I'm fine with them not doing like any maps and like not any maps with Black Sunday or so, because map editor I think is much better than anything than a single map from Eugen all 3 months or so, because that will give us so many more maps than Eugen could put out with their workforce. And also, yeah, mirrored maps and so on. We could have a different map pool for each season of League and stuff. Maybe even Eugen could maybe even do it like StarCraft, where they have a map tournament before each new season, and then the top maps of that go into a rank pool, and then they could also implement like seasons, like with the maps and so on. Doing stuff like that would be absolutely lovely. Well, we will get the Fate of Finland maps there soon, 3 kilos. I think next patch that is happening. So, yeah, and we got Lenina back. If that's good or bad, that's up to you. But yeah, we will get more maps into the map world. You asked for more maps? You get more maps. But I think really Lenina and Astronaut should not be in there. But the map with the map with the little ponds in the middle that is like deep, that should be in there again. I know the line of sight on it's messed up, but overall it's a balanced map, I think. With only the line of sight tool being a bit shitty, but overall it's a really enjoyable map to play, I feel like. And it's a balanced map. Yeah, Talion, Hantala and Illumancy are coming to 1v1 ranked pool. For free. Like, it's not only limited to people who have the DLC, but everyone will get it. No, Ostrono is by far worst map EOW. Like, Lenina is at least somewhat balanced for each side. It's just a horrible map to play on, and like one side is favored for sure, but it's not... Ostrono is just so mind-bogglingly one-sided. It's crazy. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, the map tool is more important than getting one map every 3 months from Eugen. So I'm super happy that they put the focus on that. That we got them to put the they listened to the feedback of the community there. Sure, that means we don't get any 2 new maps like now, but at least they will test out the urban map. Something I'm looking forward to, even if it's shitty. It's still some cool new idea, and might give some. Yeah, well, I'm happy with that. And yeah, I'm also fine with them taking the time with that, because like they really test something new there, I think. Trying out how they could make that work. So it's like a... And then like, yeah. I'm looking forward for the map editor. And Karma keeps on grinding here, guys. Karma keeps on grinding. Sniper's coming out. 1410. We're chilling. On the 1410, and it's a grind. And it's a good game, guys. And I'm sorry for not giving it full on justice here. By really derailing time and again. But yeah, it's fun to talk with you, chat, guys, and talk about this game overall. Well, not like just this game here, but Steel Division overall. And all the cool stuff to come. And everyone who's not voting for Slovaks, I don't like you anymore. For the Nemesis divisions. Slovaks is what we need to get, guys. I know, big 43, pack 43 in another metal box, meh, but Slovaks is so much cooler than that. Please vote for Slovaks. You already have King Tigers coming in the first Nemesis free pack. For all the guys who want to have another pack 43 in a big metal box. L2's coming in. And yeah, more IL-2s going down. And yeah, the airplay was really not good for Sloving Pixie, but at least he gets finally the Guardians that went here in minute 3 or 4 or 5. Finally get a kill. It took them forever, guys, but they finally did it. IL-2 actually gets another kill here. But yeah, he doesn't have enough IL-2s, he doesn't have enough IS-2s, and yeah, all of this. Yeah, urban map is also something that we need for Army General. To have that implemented there, and they said they will do that. So that's also good. A bit more variety on Army General overall, and also not being forced in auto-resolve in towns. Something nice to have. So yeah, that's good. Overall, also the changes to Army General they just did are good, and I think they also said they want to do more there. So I'm interested to see that. Obviously also co-op coming, but co-op needs a lot of work, so... like, 1v1 was just replacing the AI setup with a player setup and then getting a bit of connectivity in there. But co-op needs a bit more implementation of who can move the units around and how do you implement the other player and stuff. So yeah, quite a bit harder to code and create overall, I think. So that's why it takes that long. And I think it wasn't the focus for now. Focus for now was creating more Army General and so on. And I'm also liking the idea of 1v1 Army General much more than co-op, because for me, it feels like the campaign is already pretty easy. But I know a lot of people disagree, like a lot of more casual player than disagree, so happy for them when they get co-op. For me, I like the challenge of Army General to 1v1, and I'm loving it that it's in the game. Will for sure play it in the future against... I already have a couple of people asked, and a couple of people said they might do it. I'm looking forward to do that. Emcha over here, engaging, flying onto the town, and already also did one Army General. If you want to see, it's on the YouTube channel versus Chicken View. And Reaper 75 TV, thanks for the follow. M30 over here, engaging the S2. Damage coming out there. 1410 for Mr. Karma. Karma. Da, 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 da. Emcha. Engaging. Killing off the snipers. Guardia DP is coming in as well. But yeah, it's with only 80 points against 110, it's really hard, and only 3 minutes here to go, I think, for Pixie, and I think that's all we're gonna see from him in this match. But it was only game number 1, and I think if he plays a bit cleaner, takes a bit better engagements, wins the air fight, doesn't get killed off there by RNG. If he keeps his fighters alive, obviously this game would have went down quite a bit differently, I think. We would have kept won the air fight there. Which was, first of all, Tukama's better control a bit, but also Tukama's luck there. Having 2 good crit rolls there in a row. But it's not getting any against himself. And I think game number 2 might go the other way. But we have to see. We have to see what the matchup will be and so on. But this game here is next to over. And yes, off map coming in here. Also on the YouTube channel, I at the moment have a series going on where I play 1v1 with every of the Black Sunday divisions, where you can see them played and see me starting with them. And yeah, I already have 3 uploaded now. 3rd VDV, 1st Blindata Romania Mare, and 5th Cavalry. 7th Mechanized coming at Sunday. So you can all check that out on Steel Division League on YouTube. The M424, it's not guaranteed that the ones that are not voted for will happen. They might be coming up in later votes, but there's no guarantee that they all come out. No, it didn't start. I think it will be in the next, and it will be, the vote will start next week. It's not up yet. I think that will happen. Be announced next week. The vote and how it all works. So, if a division is not voted for, it's not promised. There will obviously most likely be more Nemesis packs, and then there will be votes again. But there might be other choices come in there. So and they didn't say how many of the Nemesis packs they will do and stuff. And it's not like we're only picking the orders. They do that, and then there will be a next one, and then they might do the other ones. It's not like they're doing them in a row before the next vote, because they don't have them finished or in the pipeline or anything. Those divisions are just ideas, and then they will create them after they're voted on. Like, these divisions are not at any point of creation just yet, I think. Like, maybe 1 or 2 single units on stuff, and like obviously like an outlier, but they are not like the modules are not created or anything like that. And yeah, Pixie loses game number 1, but that was obviously pretty obvious for a couple of minutes by now. But it was a really close game still, like only 200 points more for Karma. And as I said, if Pixie wins the early war if he uses his Shermans a bit better. That could have been the other way around. Let's see how he does in game number 2 in 3 minutes. See you guys in 3 minutes in match number 2. So here we go again. Karma, Pixie, second play day, again on Ciano. Hopefully it goes better for Pixie than it went for Sean. He at least doesn't play it balanced. He plays his flatline. Against Karma also playing flatline. And Karma playing 184th. So let's see if he can play it better than Sean. Both divisions that Sean played earlier. Against each other this time. And yeah, I think it's the same issue that Sean had earlier. Sherman for Karma. That 184th, I don't think it's too good against Shermans. So let's see how this goes. Oh yeah, one more follower to hit 500. Who wants to be the guy? Right. Who wants to be the 500? Yeah, this all was before Black Sunday. As I pointed out earlier. All before the Black Sunday nerfs. Both divisions getting like a bit of a nerf. Sherman's getting more expensive on the side of the second win day. And Strelky is getting nerfed on the side of Karma's, I think. Or did they? No, they didn't. No. Guardia DP's got... No, Strelky DP also got nerfed, right? Thinking about it right now. Ooh! Montcalm. Lovely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for the subscription. Now you can use the Koruk. This lovely emote. And we have an IL2 coming in. Thanks a lot for the subscription there. With the Twitch Prime. All of the other guys with Twitch Prime or with Amazon Prime who don't have the Amazon account linked with their Twitch account yet. You can use that once per month to give one streamer of your choice $2.50. Ooh, and good start for Karma, already killing off the... Oh no! Oh, Pixie! Oh no! Oh, this is so bad. Oh. Bad start here. Losing his off-map lane already. Hell Flames coming out already. Oh, losing his off-map lane to the L2KR there. Ouch! Ouch, 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 ouch! Voltage is coming in. M8 coming in as well. No M8 spam in the north. This time for Pixie, not doing the same thing that Sean did. More focused onto the south. L2KR coming in. Starting to bully stuff. And M8's again not really working great. 2 going down for only 1 BA10 killed. Yeah, really not a fan of the M8 in the tank tab. Only taking the recon once myself and then spamming the rest full of Shermans, I think. Another M8 coming around. Robinson Huzo, it's before Black Sunday. So after Black Sunday, that might change now. As the allies got nerfed and the Axis got buffed. You have to see that it is all pre-patch. So, yes. L2KR coming around. Sniperies engaging onto the Flamers. Also, you have to see that this is in tournaments with bans. Like, the top divisions of the Axis are competitive. Just the overall average is not as good as the allies. And with the top divisions getting banned, you obviously are left over with like the mid, like the top tier, like higher tier divisions, but not the top tiers. And the higher tier divisions, like in the Axis, are just not as good as the allies one. But the top tier divisions are somewhat on par, I think, with the top tier divisions on the allied side, even before Black Sunday. And with Black Sunday now, I think it's much closer. So I think we might see some Axis play for sure now again. But yes. Before Black Sunday, it was pretty allied favor. But that happens in any RTS out there. So, but that's also a reason why we don't force someone to play Axis. I think because that would be just forcing someone, or allies, like depending on the balance, that might force someone to play like always Axis versus allies. Because depending on balance, that might force someone into playing the weaker side. And in the best of 3, that would be absolutely shitty. Like if someone had to play the weaker side twice. Instead of against the other guy who only has to play them once. I think that would be pretty shitty. And also allowing allies versus allies and Axis versus Axis gives us more matchups. Top tier Axis divisions, Hermann Göring, 17th SS, and now 5th Cavalry for sure. 5th Cavalry for sure being S tier. And German running. Getting the kills there. Might actually be able to kill it with frontal armor showing, but Pixie doesn't want to take the bet, and Valentine's coming around as well, so he has to be careful here. And Pixie doing a good job here, 14-10. Much better play than from Sean, I think. Also like the much more flatline. I think I'm a big fan of them being Vanguard or maybe even Maverick, but more Vanguard. Because I think they're the division that really wants to put the pressure on, take the 59 and then dig in there. With flatline you can also do it, but obviously you don't have winning time advantage, so yes. Time to collision, because of what I just pointed out, we will keep it at 4. I thought about doing it 5, but that would mean that we only have allies versus allies again, because that would mean everyone has an extra ban against Axis as well, and as I don't think the new Soviet divisions are anywhere near, like, any top level, I don't think you need an extra ban against allies. And against Axis, that would take them out of the equation again, because you just would ban 5th Cavalry and the other divisions, and then there would be no good Axis division left over. So that's why we keep it at 4, because I don't think it's necessary, and the percentage of divisions banned is like pretty good. Still, what we got. And what happened? 11 messages. Okay. Gun mill stuck. What happened? And thanks, Sander, for the subscription. And Pixie's putting up the pressure. Putting up the pressure. Voltageers, Sappers, coming in over here. Well, if you want to do a 5th ban unofficially, and both sides say that's okay for them, yeah, okay. But officially, I will keep it at that, to not take Axis completely out of the equation again. Because Axis, I think, got 2 really solid divisions with Blindata and 5th Cavalry, but I think the 2 additions to the Soviets are okay, but not at the point where you need to ban them. Like 7th Mechanized and MGB. And 4th Mund is also much better than 3rd VDV for sure. So I think it was overall a buff to the Axis, together with all the nerfs that the Allies received. But I still think it's at a point where you give too many bans against the Axis, Axis will always not getting played. So I think 4 bans is fine. I think more will always take out the Axis, because they are also not as good, like, the divisions are not as versatile as the Allies for maps. So if you ban all the divisions that are good on the map for the Axis, the rest is pretty shitty. Like, not pretty shitty, but less versatile than the Allies ones. Well, but most of the Allied divisions can play on every map. And like something like Jaegers or so on obviously cannot play on an open map. And something like all the German tank divisions cannot play on a CQC map. So that's the reasoning why we keep it at 4 bans. Ooh. Flames coming around. Pixie keeping the flag over here, but the M5 should be able to push in there if the Sherman doesn't do something about it though. But the Sherman is on the way. Sherman on the way. IL-2KR keeps on bullying him though. Pixie under pressure. Chilling out in the south. We meet Spice coming around. And yeah, the ME Spice I think is fine. I don't like the normal M8s too much. But if you only get a single card, I guess it's fine. You still get enough Sherman cards. But usually I'm a fan of taking all the Sherman cards in this deck, because you also get Sherman 76s and so on later on. So it's not like you only get the normal Shermans. So get like a mix of those. I think it's pretty good. Okay, gets a kill here. And Shermans still are amazing. And I think really Kama will struggle with Shermans a bit. Has an ISU now in the north. So these Shermans have to be careful. North, I think overall Pixie has to give up a bit. And he got killed off in the south. Valentine's obviously being pretty solid against Shermans, as they have the better rate of fire. Like, much better rate of fire. 12 against 7, but obviously also they have lower hit points, which puts them onto a disadvantage. Of somewhat, like, yeah. Because they only need 1 penetration of a Sherman to get killed, and they need 2 penetrations against a Sherman to kill a Sherman. Because they only have 8 hit points, Shermans have 10, so they only deal 6 damage, so they need 2 penetrations. Well, the 8 is exactly enough to kill a Valentine. So the rate of fire bonus that they have above the Sherman gets a bit negated by that. And both have somewhat similar penetration chances, obviously a bit favored with the Valentine, but yes. But Kama's doing a good job of overrunning the south. And that's something I didn't expect too much. I thought Sherman would do better here. So another Sherman dying over here. Another one under fire as well. And all the infantry going down. And yeah, really, I think that's still the biggest issue of Second Blindé time and again. That the infantry tab is just not competitive. Just not competitive at all. And thanks for being number 500, Mr. Seabud, Sean Bud, I guess it is. Thanks a lot. You're Mr. 500. We finally got there, guys. 500 followers. Woo, 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 woo. Spam some sound stuff down there. Some wows and so on, some applause, some GGs. Use the soundboard to celebrate it. M8 chilling around here as well. Voltage is getting pinned down. Yeah, Clean Day under a lot of pressure for sure. Nuev is coming out. But yeah, like they struggle so hard against infantry. That's why I think you need all the Shermans you can get, because Shermans is basically your infantry. Like the rest is just cannon fodder in front of the Shermans. All the DPS has to come out of your Shermans. And M8s also have a 50 cal, but M8s are just so fragile. M8s are just so fragile. So, yeah. Don't know. And M8's also not a good matchup in this matchup against BA-10s, against Stewards, against M3 Lees. They're just not good. So really, both in the matchup and overall, like the Spies ones, a couple of them, yeah. But the normal card, I'd rather have Shermans, I think. Now with the 65-point Shermans, maybe you have to think about it. But with the 60-point Shermans we had before, for sure, always the Sherman. Now you maybe want to have the cheap M8s available, because the Shermans are a bit more pricey now. But 65 is still not really expensive, like it's still far from it. BA-10 goes down over here. Sherman firepower is still coming in. And half-tracks also decent, always helping out with the firepower, but this, against a division that has PTRDs, not amazing. So he will push it back with his Shermans here in the south. And it's only 13-11 for Kama. And Kama still kind of struggles against Shermans, I think. So, I think it's not GG as Sander said, but it is a hard way here to go for Pixie. It's for sure a hard and long way to go. Kills off the M42 though, so yeah, he's getting his traits in here. Whoever's coming in. Lost the flex in the north. But gets a couple of kills on transports now. Kills this Tralky DP as well, that would be nice. Not getting the kill just yet. I think that will force the unload now with the 50 cal firing on it. Yeah, forces the unload. So before he gets another shot off. Gets back to 12-12 and both have flatline. Obviously in a really long game I favor Karma again. Because Karma will have more infantry to go for him. Which Vaya said I don't like. I like second plane day more as a Vanguard or Maverick deck. Because like the long game always a bit scary for them. But in the medium long game I think they're absolutely fine. And Shermans should be able to do a good job. Another M42 going down. This. Oh! What? Oh, this is 3 up here. And more M42s coming out. Okay. Sherman's retreating. Firing onto the Sis 3 gun now. Gets the pin down. 42 over here retreating, so he only has to face stuff that can frontally. So this M42 will not get the penetrations either. M42 over here shouldn't have retreated. Yeah, now it's returning to fire. But that might be... Okay, no, the second Sherman doesn't have line of sight. So yeah, that should be some penetrations onto the Shermans here. Sherman has to be a bit careful now. It gets penetrated here. Yeah, it gets killed off, okay. Because second Sherman was not in line of sight. Otherwise this might have gone down and then... Yeah, both M42s might have gone down before the Shermans died. Obviously this way, it's still okay trade for Pixie, but not amazing. And he needs good trades now. He needs good or amazing trades here. I think only math trades are not enough for him to win. He's up to 13-11 now. 22 minutes. Well, 22 minutes might be possible. 36 minutes, he should have the stamina for that. But he has to keep Karma ticking from now on out. Well, I think the micro was okay. It wasn't amazing from Karma, actually. Wouldn't give him too much credit for that. But he kills the next another Sherman here. Sub-Purse coming in. Going too deep though. Going way too deep. Oh my god. Pixie, no. No. I think he wanted to get them around here or something. No, but no. No, 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 Pixie. Don't send your... Oh god. Oh god. This one is stuck. Okay. M42 stuck over here. Oh god. Okay, gets one eliminated, but... Ah, he didn't see it. First one going down. No, 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 Pixie. God, no, please. Okay, he unloads one. This is the half track there. The second half track should be fine. Okay, okay, okay. Whew. Okay, only loses 2 half tracks and 1 sub-Purse, but like only, it's still quite a bit. Another sub coming in, and that's only I think because this one is stuck. If that one wouldn't be stuck in its on hold fire, that one would have been firing. I think Pixie would have lost them all. Staying in the air with a P-37 always a bit risky. Super paper plane, super big paper plane, but also obviously has quite a bit of damage output with a 20mm and 450 cals. And it's decently fast, but yeah, an absolute paper plane. And as a bomber, the biggest class cannon that you have as a bomber option in this game, basically. Like lots of damage with a 450 kilogram bomb, but also getting shot down by a single AAPs usually. So really, you have to be sure that there's nothing there to kill it. Otherwise you lose it, and it's not a cheap plane. Like 145 is actually really expensive for a plane. Really expensive. In the current state of the game. Like it's not like a... like the Napalm recon plane or the new recon bomber from 5th Cavalry for 55 points. But like it's 3 times that price nearly, so... yes. You have to be careful. Pixie's units in the south are all getting rolled up, but he's keeping up the pressure in the north now. Keeping it up to a 1410, and a 1410 is fine. If he gets up to a 59, that would be amazing. If he gets the flag over here, 59 would be really, really good for him. Like, kind of what he needs. Bringing in more Shermans here. Killed off quite a couple of AT guns. Not having any mortars is something that holds Pixie back a bit, I think. Went up to a 59 there for a second, but then he lost the flag again somewhere and went back down to 1410. Okay, Sherman over here, engaging an M42, and M42 really not good against Shermans usually. Like on this map you can at least get them in okay positions to side shot, but in frontal engagements they absolutely suck. The M42 is amazing against Panzer IVs, absolutely horrible against Shermans usually. Amazing against Panzer IVs, decent against T-34s, horrible against Shermans. When it comes to engaging medium tanks. Like against Soviet decks or like other allied decks, I usually change them out against CIS-3s. CIS-3s, obviously not having the fire rate, being a bit more expensive, but having HE shells and having the capabilities of dealing with the medium tanks of the other allied divisions quite well. Or even in Axis divisions that have the choice between M42s and CIS-3s. As there's a lot of them in Beute weapons that I picked them. Well, I wouldn't say the Pixie's ahead. Like, Pixie is ticking, but when it comes to the ground forces, I think actually it's pretty even, if not favoring Karma. This is unlucky. Oh, Sub-Purse. This is so unlucky. Oh, that was supposed to be a kill. Bazooka not hitting is something that you rarely see. I was really unlucky there. Okay, trying to kill off the IL-2 over here. Sub-Purse unloading. Sherman sitting down here, but I think he lost another Sherman down here, didn't he? Yeah, I think he lost another Sherman. That's quite bad. Has low infantry availability. I guess he has another... I think he doesn't have anything left in B phase. I guess one more card of voltages in C phase is what we're gonna see. Oh, IL-2 turns perfectly for Pixie, that is. And absolutely horribly for Karma there. getting shut down by a P-38, but obviously that's where the point where we have to talk about. Like, yeah, that's what I talked about earlier. P-38 here in a lot of trouble. And I think it's going down. Like, it was already trailing Tech Smoke over here. Oh, wow. That's lucky. Obviously a bit faster than the bomber version, so chances of it getting out are quite a bit better. But picks it down to only a 13-11 now. And he needs to hold on. Some flames coming in now. L flames. So the French Flammenwerfer version. 2-man. And some volunteers. Yeah, that's his C-phase card, I guess. I would be surprised if he would have more than one infantry C-phase card. I think that's it. Like, he had the Nuevers and the Sappers in B, and now volunteers in C-phase. Being the CQC unit that we know from Normandy. That came in later in Normandy as a free unit. Like, in Normandy we had, I think, 2 patches where they introduced new free units to existing divisions. And one of them introduced these to the second plane day. Yeah. One of the other one was the another unit was the Ox and Bucks, and I forgot what else got introduced with those. But those were 2 additions that came at the same time, and both important for the divisions that got them. Ox and Bucks much more though, giving infantry AT to 6 airborne in Normandy. Still didn't make 6 airborne super competitive, but at least got them a bit better power level than what they had before. The shittiness of glider rifles being what held 6th Airborne back in Normandy. M4A2 over here, engaging, but Karma now playing out his infantry superiority quite well, killing off a lot of Shermans. Pixie overall not really able of dealing with anti-tank guns capable, like only thing he has is a couple of bombers, but not enough. No mortars or anything. Like, I have to be critical of that. I think with Western allies you have to use mortar play, because you don't have, like, with Soviet and German divisions, usually have, or like also the Romanians, you have usually infantry assault guns that you can use, like the IG-18 or so, to help out against AT weapons. But you don't have that as the Western allies, so you have to use your mortars there. Or play a bit more with bombers. But mortars obviously being the bit cheaper choice to pin them down, and then you can just run them over with your Sherman. But first of all, you have to stack the favors in an engagement between anti-tank gun and Sherman into the favor of your Sherman. And he didn't do that at any point, so he lost quite too many Shermans for my liking down here. And now he gets run over in the north. Not having any AT here to stop the ISU. Being heavily outnumbered and outclassed when it comes to infantry. Yeah, strike ADPs. In this patch, obviously still with the SVT rifle. Yeah, I think we're seeing Karma getting game number 2 here, and that would mean Karma is in the finals, guys. And he didn't start too well into the season. He came in as a replacement as well and stuff, so yeah, he really improved over season 3 here. A lot of improvement from him. I'm so happy we got him into this. I'm so happy I was able to reach him out to him, get him as a replacement in, and get him to this level. Absolutely worthy replacement for Nilla, who sadly had to drop out. Yeah. Hopefully we will see Nilla at some point again. But yeah, for the time being, Karma is absolutely a worthy replacement, taking even Nilla's place in the finals, as it looks like that Nilla had last season. Damn. Who would have expected that at the beginning? I for sure didn't. Like, I thought Karma would do, like, I was like, oh yeah, he's doing okay. I thought he would be like 3rd or 4th place, like maybe going into the playoffs and then losing like 5th or 6th place. But yeah, he improved steadily. And it's not luck that he is here. He's for sure up there in the skill with the top of the top. And yeah, let's see who we will play against in the finals. And maybe Pixie still can do it here, but I don't believe into second plane day here, guys. I don't believe into second plane day at all at this point. Sniperies engaging volunteers. Volunteers, yeah. 1 FM, 8 carabines, 3 stands. Pretty decent unit. pretty decent unit. The charge still engaging, but yeah, the anti-tank gun play is too good. Air control is not too heavily in favor of Pixie. And it's just the infantry. Will not work out for Pixie here. Another LA-5 bomber coming in. And volunteers engaging onto the Strelky down here. Volunteers engaging. Luck 5 engaging onto the Zappers on the ground. Another IL-2 KR coming up, engaging the off-map unit. Off-map still coming in. Is Pixie able? Like, I'm trying to find out the scenario where Pixie is winning this, but I think he traded too badly in B-phase to really allow that to happen. Not ever getting the rollover Sherman amount that he needed to do the job here. Like always getting it, yeah, losing too many Shermans just like that. Like against M42s, you're not supposed to lose Shermans. I think he did still a better job than Sean, but yeah. First of all, I'm surprised to see second clean day here, and second of all, yeah, bit of a misplay here by Pix overall, which might let him down in the end. It kind of looks like it. Two more Shermans coming in the north, but I just don't see it. Just don't see it. Really, no mortar half-tracks, I think, is what I would criticize the most in Pixie's deck. And yeah, gameplay-wise, I don't know. Gameplay-wise, I actually don't know. I think he played decently, but 184th is just, I think, a bit higher, at least on this patch, than second plane day. Didn't second plane day got an infantry buff with the last patch, with Black Sunday? Didn't one of their infantry got more availability here, like the Voltigeurs? I think there was something. Trying to remember it though. So they might be more competitive now, especially with like the nerf to all the Soviet infantry. Yeah. I think like the Sherman nerf and the nerf to Soviet infantry were the biggest changes in this patch when it comes to balance. The removal of a lot of SVT rifles. But obviously this being pre-patch, yeah. Really bit surprised here by Pixie's play and choice of division. A really decent game here by Karma so far. Okay, bombs coming in, but there's no Shermans left. Another 76 coming in. But 76s are so pricey. And oh boy, he's losing again. Maybe a Sherman here to M42. Second Sherman doesn't help out. So yeah, I think this Sherman might go down again. Volunteers obviously absolutely horrible in long range engagements. The SMG they have is, the LMG they have is really shitty. Carabine's only having 300 meter range, but like on CQ3 range they do pretty okay. Though, wait, is that the right damage for the Carabine? Shouldn't that deal a bit more damage? Wait, what is 1.2 divided by 8? That's 1.5, right? Yeah. So I thought they were 0.2 damage. Okay. I think the Carabine overall should, like, with being 300 meter range, it should deal 0.2 damage for sure. Like, it's not as good as the STG, but which has 0.3 damage. But better than, I think it should be better than this. With the rate of fire, it has a bit more damage output, I think, than the M1 Grand, doesn't it? No, M1 Grand actually has more damage output. And more range. Because it has a CM DPS and more rate of fire. So yeah, the Carabine is a shitty rifle. Okay. It's just garbage then. What? It has more accuracy, okay. Okay. But it has less reload. Like it takes longer time to reload and stuff. With the rate of fire. And it has the same damage and less range, obviously. So, and I think with the range being lower, I think the accuracy of the M1 Grand on on 300 mid-range is the same. If I remember right. Like that also plays a role. So yeah. Okay. Never looked too much into these weapons. But yeah, just something that I thought about. And like most of the units that have an M1 Grand are not that great anyways. So I would like to see a buff to it maybe. But yeah, let's first wait for infantry rework. Gamel Soak I might be in. I'm not really sure what I will do. I think this... yeah, but see you guys. Man. Was nice having you. Volunteers sitting around over here. More coming in. And it's still a somewhat close game, but now Pixie also loses aircraft. His AA setup is not really great. Neither is the one of Kama, but Kama has IL-2s, so they don't die to single Bofors, whilst a single 37mm can absolutely kill. What do I want to say? Can absolutely kill a P-38. And yeah, his Sherman number getting reset time and again is a bit dangerous. So he killed off a lot of AT guns by now, but ISU 122 is obviously being an issue. And the question is, how many 76s does he have left? And how much infantry does he have left? Because we're getting into the point now where his volunteer card might run out. And I don't think he has a second card of infantry in C phase, which would leave him without infantry. And yeah, he just doesn't have enough Shermans to do the job without infantry. Like really the biggest weakness here of Pixie. He obviously has Kama 2/3 of the way down, nearly. Like more like 3/5 of the way down. But yeah, that's still a bit of way to go. I really think he would have needed a 13-11 ticking constantly. And he wasn't able to do that, and I think that might lose him the game here. Because Kama should have the longer pref. Kama now also going up to a 13-11 once more. Okay, back to 12-12. And Pixie doesn't have enough air control to like get the extra traits there. No, Kama also finally bringing in the commander in next to his Bofors. So Bofors with 37mm, 2 with 3-star veterancy, deleting planes out of the sky. 3-star 37mm, absolute beasts, and if you get double of them, they delete any plane out of the skies, as you could see with the DB there. And this is another bad news for Pixie. And yeah, really not a division that can go for the long run usually. If you try to trade evenly through the early game, or even be a bit behind, I don't see much chances there for Second Plane Day to come back in the late game. Just not division to do that. Just not the division to do that. Another LA5 bomber coming in. We'll get the pin down on the volunteers. And LA5 returning. Okay. But yes, any infantry unit Pixie loses is one that he can't replace, and it kind of looks like he's out of stuff actually. And boy, what? Is he really out of stuff? No, he's not. But yeah. Yeah, that was the last one-way ticket for this P-38. Not even doing too much. Well, he allows them to kill the IS-122. One IS-122 in the north. Might his Shermans be able to push somewhere here? There's only 2 M42s left. But he doesn't have the infantry to be in front of his Shermans anymore. If that would have happened like 3 minutes, or 4 minutes ago, maybe? Maybe Pixie could have pushed somewhere, but Nah, this is not going anywhere anymore. This is not going anywhere anymore. He brings in more volunteers in the north, but he's not getting anywhere here either. And ISU 122 will now finish off the Sherman. And that's it with armored support in the north. In a second. And boom, and gone. No! Okay, takes another shot. But Pixie's still not reacting there. So, gives the IS-122 the time to reload. Not even get what you want to have happen at all by Pixie. And again, I think a bit of a misusage by Sherman. Just in game, like in game number 1, Sherman's being the most mishandled unit by Pixie again. Well, like, like, yeah, not mishandled, but like not used enough. Like not well positioned enough unit, I guess. Like you always have high expectations into Shermans, especially in a division that is so reliant on them. Like every division that has Shermans is a bit reliant on them, but few are so reliant on them as second plane day. I think the only other one that comes in mind is third American Armored. Third US Armored. But yes. Karma grinning after Pixie surrenders here as he ran out of stuff, and Karma is in the semifinal. No, it is in the final. We have our first finalist in Division 1. Next one will be most likely decided this weekend. So, yes, I will cast that game hopefully live between Amber T and Pastor John. Stay tuned, I will announce that when it happens. And for now, yeah, for now, GG, VP, 2 Karma, and Pixie will still have another shot on getting his position better in this tournament though, as he will be in the third place game. He still can get the bronze medal and save himself the $80 instead of the $50 prize pool, where it is for now. You obviously can add a bit more to that prize pool, guys, by using the code PLAYOFFTIME in the matcherino page. All the crowdfunding is done via the matcherino page. So exclamation mark matcherino in the chat gets you there. Or if you are seeing this on YouTube, it will be down below. And then you can just use the code exclamation mark matcherino and use the code, no, you can use the code PLAYOFFTIME to add 50 cents to the prize pool for free and help out the tournament. If they're all used up, let me know. Then I might ask them for one more, but I don't think we will get any more free codes for this tournament. The next one will be for the next season. Other than that, you can use I will do some sponsor missions here in the site. There should be some showing up for you, none showing up for me right now, but there should be still some up. I will also look for more later. And you also can contribute directly, like some of the really amazing guys here did. Jackal Rush, FMOL, Manuo Militari, all of these guys doing a lovely job there. And amazing amounts here from Jackal Rush and FMOL especially, with $210 and $200 each added to the prize pool. You also can buy stuff in the marketplace that adds stuff to the prize pool as well. For example, this hoodie. This hoodie is amazing. I have it myself. Really, really good hoodie. And you pay $35 and $35 go to the prize pool. So consider that as well. As of now, this is it with Division 1 for now. The rest will come soon. And I will go into a break now. And for everyone on stream, I will shut down the stream for now, so I have this to upload onto YouTube. And restart it in a second. So stay tuned. And just refresh the stream for a second.